Now it's we live. Remove. Okay, we're going to start the video. Hello, greetings from Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. My name is Ганабелл, alumni of the East West Center's Changing Faces Women's Leadership Program of 2014. I'm a founder and CEO of the Ganabell Institute of Success. We are specialized in training and consulting services for individuals and small and medium enterprises. We trained over 50,000 employees and gave lectures for 120,000 students in the last 8 years. Our vision is to become international knowledge innovation hub to provide comprehensive knowledge and skills. We recently launched a new digital school platform. With the support from the East West Center, we are initiating Digital School Lab to run comprehensive leadership online program for young professionals representing all 21 provinces of Mongolia. The project will not only empowering young professionals, but also increasing the usage of digital learning for rural and remote individuals. This project will initiate a comprehensive solution to enhance digital learning culture. We will make the change. Thank you very much. Та бүхэн яг одоо онлайнаар оролцож байна. Тэгэхээр хөрвөх чадвартай манлайллын хөтөлбөрийг бид нэр East West Center-тай хамтран зохион байгуулж байгаа. Тэгээд энэ East West Center-ийн одоо зөвлөх боловсрол leadership хариуцсан зөвлөх одоо Лайнс Боедыг одоо урьж оролцохоор бэлэн болсон байна. За энэний холбогдуулаад бид нар бас нөгөө бяцхан слайд бэлдсэн байгаа. Энэ слайдыг төр та бүхэнд танилцуулаад тэгээд Лайнс Боедтай бид нэр хамтдаа ярилцлага үргэлжлүүлэх болно. За тэгэхээр бид нар бол энэ хөрвөх чадвартай манлайлал хөтөлбөрийг East West Center-тай хамтран хийхээр болсон. Тэгээд энэ хөтөлбөрийн одоо гол зорилго нь юу вэ гэхээр Монгол улсын 21,300 сумын одоо тийм ээ 20-с дээш насны бүх хүмүүст нээлттэй. Тэгээд энэ хүмүүст бол онлайнаар суралцах дадлыг өгөхөөс гадна одоо хөрвөх чадвартай манлайллын цогц ойлголтыг өгөх мөн уян чадрын сургалтуудыг өгөхөөр зорж байгаа. За энэ хичээлийг Ганабелл Институтийн багш нар болон Ийс Вестийн төвийг төлөөлсөн мөн Ийс Вестийн төгсөгчд экспертүүд бол яриа өгнө. За хөрвөх чадвартай манлайллын талаар одоо би Лайнстай ярих учраас энэ төр орхий. За хөрвөх чадвартай манлайллын хөтөлбөр бол Ийс Вест Центрийн одоо спонсороор 90% тэтгэлэг өгч байгаа. За энэ тэтгэлэгт бол 20-с дээш насны одоо онлайнаар хичээл үзэх нөхцөлөө бүрдүүлсэн өөрийн одоо ажиллаж байгаа салбар байгууллагатай аймагтаа манлайлах хүсэл эрмэлзэлтэй хөдөө орон нутагт ажиллаж амьдардаг бол давуу тал болно гэсэн ийм шалгуур хангасан хүн болгонд бол нээлттэй байгаа шүү. За тэгээд энэ хөрвөх чадвартай манлайлал бол сургалт нь 3 хэсгээс бүрдэж байгаа. Эхнийх нь бол soft skill хичээл байна. Хоёрдугаарх нь манлайллын хичээл, гуравдугаарх нь бол яг adaptive leadership буюу хөрвөх чадвартай манлайллын талаар экспертүүд өөрөө өөрснийхөө одоо нөгөө өнцгөөс сургалт өгч одоо яриа хийх болно. За ингээд East West Center-ийг төлөөлж Лайнс Боедтай уулзахад бэлэн болсон байна. Welcome.
Thank you, Gama. Very honored to be here. Such a famous institute. Very excited to be a part of the journey that you're having for this new era for all of us.
Thank you very much. So I would like to ask some questions since we are collaborating together on this project. So because when we were initiating the digital lab, your organization was interested in that and decided to support our program. Why did you, decide to support?
Thanks again for having me and for supporting the East West Center, first of all. I think if you look at the history of the East West Center, for over 60 years, we have been working with partners primarily in Hawaii and Washington, D.C., our two campuses, to help improve people's leadership capacities, to help evolve their understanding of the world, and then to send them home so that they can make change in their communities. We now live in a different era, and we have the capacity to collaborate daily with tools like we're using now. And so our vision is to say, how can the East West Center thrive in the 21st century with the same vision and mission that we've had, that has brought us successfully to have over 60,000 people that we call alumni? What's next for us? And so it was with this idea of what's next that I reached out to you, Ghana, and to Sam and other Mongolian alumni, and I said, what would the 21st century look like with training and education, and how could we do this without trying to fly everyone to Hawaii? As much as we would like all of Mongolia to come to Hawaii, it's unfeasible. So how can we have an impact for people? Particularly, how can we impact people while they're in their own community or in their organization, and help them learn on the job, help them learn with their peers, with their colleagues, and not be removed from them, but have a meaningful learning experience? So it was with that idea that we started our conversation.
Great. Thank you for supporting, and thank you for deciding to cooperate with us. Right as of today, now is 250 people registered from all of the 21 provinces.
Great.
That's
Congratulations.
good news. Thank you very much. And my next question is, what kind of people you want to attend this nationwide adaptive leadership program?
So a difficult question to answer, but thanks for it nonetheless, because this is the question I think I would like potential people thinking about joining to be asking. Am I the type of person that should be exploring this? Is this right for me? The type of person I think might be a good fit for this is a person who's very curious, who understands that the world is so complex. Coronavirus helping us realize just how complex it is. And our jobs and our daily lives continue to evolve and need us to perhaps be learners as much as we need to be leaders. And so I would like a person to come to this humbly. I would like a person to come recognizing that they have the traits, the wisdom, the skills that are needed, that they need someone to help guide them through a process of understanding they have certain skills they can build off of. They have assets that they can use, but they also continue to evolve and learn new skills and new assets. So I would hope it's a curious person, it's an ambitious person. I would hope it's someone who is generous, who likes to share what they've learned as well as get something from learning. And lastly, I would say, Ghana, is that I don't want to promote us as having simple fixes, that we're going to come in and give you all that you need to fix all your problems. I want people to understand that we're seeking a relationship, a long-term professional relationship with people who can be a part of the Ganabell Institute of Success, be a part of the East West Center, and continue a learning journey that continues to evolve and adapt as our world around us continues to change even more rapidly.
Yeah, so I would like to express my gratitude that thank you for giving the great opportunity for Mongolian people, because what we was requiring in that you need to be above 20 years old, and if you are willing to study, if you are curious to learn, if you are study online and to create the habit, you are welcome to attend. And also we are giving the extra extra concentrating on the local people, especially those who are isolated from the city, city grounds, something like that.
Great.
Anyway, the second question is, why because we were thinking about the leadership program and what kind of program we're going to give, what are going to offer, then you came up the great idea about focusing on adaptive leadership, because there was a lot of leadership concept,
Yes.
but why did you pick up the adaptive leadership?
Again, great question. So the adaptive leadership has been a core principle of what the East West Center has done. We've had a leadership program established over 20 years ago now, and adaptive leadership has been a core dimension of what we have taught. So like what I hope many of us are realizing, that we need to experiment and keep learning. You know, we've been experimenting and learning for over 20 years now in the leadership space. And one of the things that we have learned is that adaptive leadership is a theory which fellows from across the Asia Pacific, and I mean almost every country in the Asia Pacific we have worked with, have found it to be something that was transformative in the way that they were able to work with their colleagues and the way where they were able to approach the problems that they had at work. So the first part of that answer is because it has been very, very successful with the thousands of people that we have trained. Many of them, of course, very ambitious Mongolians like yourself. The second reason, Ghana, was, I would say, because I think it is a great leadership theory for the current times that we're facing, because it's going to help us think bigger, think differently, realize that the experts, whether they have a vaccine or not, cannot solve these problems with a technical fix. So adaptive leadership gives us a way, not only very useful in our career lives, but let's be honest, our personal lives, whether we're in quarantine or not in quarantine, have been disrupted. And so I hope that this also would give the students in your institute tools that they could even take home, or just to imagine the world differently and look at leadership more holistically overall.
Yeah, that's a great answer. And that's why the people really like the idea of the adaptive leadership. And as for the information for the viewers and listeners and watchers, we are planning the great speech and great lecture about the adaptive leadership given by our East West alumni of Mongolia and East West experts like Lains's Boed. Okay, so do you have anything to say or any questions regarding to the program and regarding to the Ganabell Institute?
Thank you. Yes, I do. I hope Americans are quite informal, so I hope this is not too personal for you, Ghana. I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but I think for us, we have a big title, and we say we're bringing together the people of Asia and the Pacific. But for us, it's about a person. It's about a person with a name, and a person we can continue to work with, and who we can support in the different stages of their career. And you represent very much to me one person who might be the face of the East West Center. And so with that, I wondered if you could describe in your words what you experienced with us. What did you get from us? And do you think we would be able to maybe think about using that within the Ganabell Institute and the digital school?
Yeah. In 2014, I was selected as a fellow of the Changing Faces Fellowship of the Women. It was very prestigious and competitive program. I still remember the concept and program. It was well done and professionally organized, and I was very much impressed by your organization's leadership and management. Then after I returned, I did several kind of lectures for public, how the women should be powerful, how women should collaborate together to support each other. And also I came up the idea, the mentorship club for the women who has a lower income, who are willing to, seeking for job. Then what we did is we came up the idea empowering women through the entrepreneurship program, which was lasted for 6 months. And also this program very well organized and it became success, then it was also highlighted by the State of Department. The program was sponsored by the State of Department project. So this kind of experience is still in my head, and I really appreciate the East West Centers, the management, and different kind of program. Still, I have the very good relationship with the other women in Asian Pacific, from New Zealand, Australia, and Japan and Korea, because there are 20 different kind of various of countries women study together. Now we still have a very good friends over on the social media. Even I visited in Malaysia to see my East West Centers alumni, you know, to recognize and to remember our great moments at the Hawaii East West Center.
Great. Thank you for sharing. And I think if I could just highlight again the way that you developed relationships through the program, that I think, as you said, over 20 countries. What happens, I think, is many of us in our roles, we can feel quite isolated. And this is even before COVID. We can feel like we're the only ones fighting this battle, or the only ones struggling with this struggle. And I think our strength may not be our location in Hawaii, although it's nice. I think our strength may not be perhaps our leadership teaching, but it's that fundamental motivation that comes from finding people who are as ambitious and like-minded as you, but who come from entirely different cultures and communities. And the way that I think helps us understand that we have family, a very big family across Asia that is trying to do it gives us great momentum and I hope moves us forward. So I guess another question, if we have time, Ghana, I would like to ask you is actually kind of what we started our earliest relationship around, and that's this concept of innovation. Because I felt like the East West Center, as I said, needs to be involved in this era of innovation, science, technology that the digital school nicely represents. And if you wouldn't mind, could you share what you remember about how you define innovation, what it is to you, and maybe if you could link that to the digital school?
Yeah, because I have a very good mentor, and he gave me advice that in order to be in the front, in order to sustain your competitiveness, you need to go to the digital. Then based on the advice, I was thinking to establish the digital school. But in meanwhile, I was studying about the innovation. Even I was teaching innovation to our clients. Then not only our teaching, also I was thinking to have the initiative meeting, new idea meeting at our institute, and we came up very good ideas. One of the good idea was that digital school lab concept. And in my opinion, the innovation comes from the positive attitude. If you are very positive, you always come with the solution instead of complaining, whining, right? The second opinion, in my opinion, the innovation comes from the sustainable creative thinking. So if you stop thinking, then innovation will never, come out. That's why we try to prefer to have the creative thinking in everyday basis. One of our values of the Ganabell Institute is thinking creative. So we try to make the innovation is like everyday life of Ganabell Institute. And also I found out that Mongolian people are lacking of the creativity in innovation. That's why we came up this idea, and we wanted to involve more people, and we want to make this project in national level. That's why I discussed with the East West Center Mongolia, the representative and the president of the alumni of Mongolia, Ms. Tom, and she really liked the idea, and we came up with this great project. So I'm so happy that this project, this idea came through in practice.
Wow, seems very, very timely. You make me really excited that this session is recorded, because I can't get enough of hearing the way you describe innovation. It's so unique to you, and I really love the way you've taken that ownership. On the topic of innovation, and you still, if it's okay, one more question. Has has anyone ever recognized your innovation that you've done in the past? I think UNESCO has maybe offered something to you around that. And then also, have you, in case our listeners want to think more about learning more about you and your work, have you published any books that we might be able to access?
Oh yeah, because in 2015, the UNESCO Asia Pacific region nominated Ganabell Institute for applying the interactive training methods and gamification on the training. So our institute was selected among the Mongolia and selected among the Asia. Then we got the reward of the innovation from the UNESCO Asia Pacific. So we are so delighted, and we was also inspired and got encouraged with this award. And also, Ganabell Institute is not only giving the training, but also try to enlighten the people through the education. So our Ganabell Institute published more than 10 books and product lines. The 4 of them is was authored by me. So one of the famous book, which became the best-selling book, is 10 Steps to Success. The one month ago, I also published the last book, which is called 10 Key Yin Yang Skills of Best Sales People. So you know, the East West Center is like a yin yang to me, and our adaptive leadership is yin yang. The American philosophy and Mongolian philosophy come with the yin yang.
Nice.
So this adaptive leadership is very good, representing East West Center yin yang concept.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm thinking of translating my book in English. Then we will publish it on Amazon and other social media.
Yeah, we'd love to be a part of that too, and maybe if I could reserve an autographed copy if that does happen, please.
Sure. Yes, definitely. All right. Thank you so much for giving me about your thoughts and concept, and encouraging and marketing about the adaptive leadership program, which is organized by your institute and our institute. And would you like to say the last word before we close the live interview?
Sure. Yeah, I think I would just like to first make sure we thank all the people who have supported this. You may see Lance and Ghana here, but there are big teams behind us. There's also mothers and families behind us, and I think that's important to recognize all of the people who go to make these sort of things possible, because that is going to be essential to understanding how adaptive leadership works. Because adaptive leadership is going to help you in the training. I hope you're able to take part in. You're going to understand that these problems we have are not going to be solved by one person, whether she or he has authority or is called a CEO. Those are going to be some technical problems, perhaps they can solve with the new technology. But the real work that we need to be working on, these are our adaptive problems, and that's what adaptive leadership will help us imagine. And when it comes to adaptive leadership, each one of us becomes the leader in a process of experimentation, a process of innovation and learning from those mistakes, and then reapplying them and staying humble and making sure we understand each of us is a part of a process of not knowing what's going to happen. There's no better philosophy, I think, for the current times we're in, and I think there's no better institute than the Ganabell Institute, and no better program than the digital school where you can stay in your workplace, in your organization, and practice what you're learning. I think this is an ideal opportunity, and look forward to working with you in the future.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you very much for your valuable time and sharing your thoughts. And за манайхаа одоо хөрвөх чадвартай манлайлал үндэсний хөтөлбөрийг хамтран зохион байгуулж байгаа Ийс Вест Центр буюу одоо нөгөө баруун зүүн төв гэдэг алдартай алдартай манлайллын одоо чиглэлээр мэргэсэн энэ байгууллага маань манайхтай хамтарч энэ хөтөлбөрийг зохион байгуулж байгаа. Тэгээ энэ хөтөлбөрийг зохион байгуулалттай холбогдуулаад Ийс Вест Центрийг төлөөж манай боловсролын зөвлөх Лайнс Боед оролцлоо. Баярлалаа, Лайнс Боед. Thank you very much, Lайнс Боед. See you later.
Thank
on
you,
social
Ghana.
media.
Okay, yes, see you on social media. Thank you, everyone.